Did you know that Nassau County property owners pay 4 times more in property taxes than the average American? Why are we paying so much? Where do our property taxes go? And what can we do about it? I'm Hilary Topper, and I am with Hilary Topper on air. Today, I have the great pleasure of welcoming Jeff Gold, partner at the Gold Law Firm PC, to answer all these questions and help us shed light on the process in filing an assessment grievance. Jeff, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Hilary. How are you?
So, please tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and the Gold Law Firm.
Well, the Gold Law Firm is a full service law firm located in Bellmore, New York. We're 12 attorneys. We have a big insurance defense practice. We also handle commercial disputes of all types, business disputes, and a portion of the practice is filing residential tax assessment grievances in Nassau County. I was for 3 years a member of the Board of Assessors of Nassau County when we did the first reassessment. And then I was on the Assessment Review Commission for another 3 or 4 years. So I have a fairly good understanding of how assessment works, of how your property tax assessment is determined, and how you can get it lowered. So the firm offers options at Jeff Gold uh, flat rate grievance.com. That's a new Facebook webpage. Offers numerous options at Jeff Gold flat rate grievance.com to help you file your grievances, without spending a percentage of your savings. We also operate a Facebook page, Nassau Grieve Your Tax Assessment Free, where we teach people. I teach people. I have moderators who help teach people how to file a tax assessment grievance without charge. You don't need an attorney to do it. You don't need a lot of special knowledge to do it. The county gives you a fair amount of information, and we give you the rest, and you can file without charge. We have 38,000 members. We must be doing something right. We've had members and I've had clients get 20% reductions last year. So that's a huge percentage off. The only guarantee I tell people is if you don't file a grievance, then you're going to pay more next year because taxes always go up, tax rates go up. So go ahead.
I want to take a step back, okay? So we're approaching tax season right now in
We're in
Nassau,
it.
and we're in it. And we contend with very steep property taxes compared to the rest of New York. Can you tell our listeners, many people might know this, but there may be some people who don't. Can you explain where our taxes are going, why we pay so much more than everywhere else?
Okay. Well, you and I both live in the town of Hempstead. Okay. And the town of Hempstead is the country's uh, largest township. It is bloated with, patronage, family members on the payroll, and we have to pay for that. So if let's say you pay $20,000 a year in property tax, which is not unreasonable, then your $20,000, about 14,000 of that is going to go to the school tax. We have really good schools in Nassau County, and you're going to have to pay for it. And that is about 60 to 70%, and that's almost in every school district throughout the county. There are some that are less, but mostly that's going to be what you're going to pay. Then you pay a town tax, and the town tax is roughly 10%. And then you pay your county tax, which is always hovered around 16 to 20% of your tax bill. And that covers Nassau County Police. Nassau County Police is 25% of the county bill. You're not going to lower that. There's nothing they can do. You have to have police. We have the best police in the country, and we pay for them, and they are among the highest paid in the country. They have among the highest rate benefits. They both every county worker gets health insurance, and every county retiree gets health insurance. Those rates keep going up. That's another 20% of your budget. Then you have to pay for social services. We want to pay for social services. We don't want people living on the street. That's another 25%, and it's mandated by law, and there just isn't anything we can do to get rid of it. So your taxes aren't going down. Um, the only thing you can do is grieve your assessment and also make sure you have all your proper exemptions. Uh, the county provides you with a list of exemptions, but homeowners get a star exemption or get a star check. There's senior exemptions for lower income seniors. There's exemptions for seniors that even make up to $90,000 a year. That saves them some money. But very little of this is in your control, and grieving your assessment is one of those things that is.
All right, so let's talk about this grieving and assessment, right? So, number one, is it really worth it for people to grieve an assessment? I mean, are they going to save that much more money? And if so, how do they do this?
Okay, well, it's really simple. The answer is yes, it's worth spending the time to learn how to grieve your assessment or to hire someone, my firm or someone else, to file your grievance. We have had clients save as much as 20%, 22% actually. Last year, we had somebody save 25%, which is the maximum reduction. That means these people are massively overassessed. And yes, if you save that much money, you do see a reduction in your taxes. Not everybody who saves money on their assessment saves money on their taxes. For example, if you save 3%, you're going to probably pay 3% more in taxes next year. They're going to cancel out. But if you didn't get that reduction, you would have paid 3% more. And now with the average tax bill being over 10%, $10,000, 3% is noticeable money. And so you need to keep filing, you need to stay on top of it. You need to stay on top of the real estate market. You need to understand what the valuation of your home is, what it would sell for on the open market. It is absolutely insane. Little capes that a few years ago in Nassau County would have sold for 300,000 and 400,000 are now selling for $600,000 and $700,000. So you need to understand that. Now, what's really interesting about the county system is they have frozen your assessment for 4 years now. And of course, property values have gone up 20, 30% in those 4 years. And what that does is it creates an inaccurate tax roll. And our tax roll in Nassau County is a mess. They just hired another unqualified individual to be the assessor, who succeeds another unqualified individual who succeeds somebody who is actually qualified, but who the legislature didn't let do anything. So we have a situation where the rolls have now been frozen for 4 years. I'll give you an example. If you go out and pay $600,000 for a house, and you then find out that your assessment is 500 or 500,000, would you think that's a fair assessment? You would, because the county tells you that you're being assessed based upon your home value. So if your home value is 600, you pay fair market value, and you're assessed at 500. A lot of people say, wow, I don't need to file a tax assessment grievance. But you do, because under the county system, it's become so inaccurate that a home value assessed at 500 is actually a $725,000 home. So if you have a $725,000 home, you should be assessed no higher than 500. And
I
you
was
have,
I was
it's so
just going to
confusing.
ask you about this because I've noticed that my home is valued at so much more money than what the comps say that it's supposed to be in my area, right? And I'm sure so many other people feel that way. So in that case, should my neighbors and I file a grievance? And why is it important in ensuing a fair assessment?
Okay. You want a fair assessment because a fair assessment means that you're paying only your share, a fair share. Everybody wants to pay less than their fair share, but I'm good if the county you just pay half or pay not half. You pay your share. You live in $1 million home, you get paid for the taxes associated with $1 million home. You don't want to pay for the taxes associated with $1.5 million home. And it's funny, we're doing this now, but you and I've known each other a long time. I remember talking about homes when they were $200,000. And that $200,000 home is now really close to $1 million home. That's how long we've been doing this. So you only want to pay your fair share. And the only way you can make sure you pay your fair share is by filing a tax assessment grievance every year. You
Wow.
have no idea what the system is going to do. You don't know if they're going to issue reductions to everybody. A few years back, and well, not a long time, we're talking 6, 7 years, the county gave a 6% reduction to everybody that filed. They just threw up their hands and they just gave that reduction to everybody. Maybe it was 8 years now, but it was, not a long, long time ago. And so if you filed, you got an 8% reduction. And if you didn't file, you didn't get a reduction and you end up paying more than your fair share. So you file every year. You file every year until not only is your assessment fair, but the assessment of every home around you is fair because you're being judged against your neighbors. If you had 4 homes and 3 of those homes get reduction, that means the 4th home is paying more than its fair share. You look at that on a much bigger district, school district by school district. And what do? You look for homes that have sold in your school district, near your house, in the same general value or same general location as your home. And the county provides a lot of that information. If you don't want to do it yourself, and again, if you go to Nassau, get tax assessment free. We teach you how to do it yourself. In fact, I'm going to pull up the web page here, and if you want to share, we can share and show people. But that's your option.
Yeah, let's share the page.
I'm going to share the page right now.
Who are
Okay.
watching this on
If
YouTube.
you want to share my screen, it's there.
Yeah, you could share your screen. Just go to the
Okay.
button on the bottom.
Okay. It should be there.
Yep.
We see it. Okay. So that's my Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And on that page, we answer all your questions. We have files that you read. We have 37,500 members. And if you go to this page, we will answer all types of questions regarding your assessment and grievances. And we'll help you value your prior grievances for as long as they're more than a year old, because you can't grieve you can't value an assessment until the tax rates come out. Here somebody asks a question about how far back can you go for looking for comps, and we've answered that. But probably have answered 10 to 20,000 questions, if not per week. We probably answer 300, 400 questions a week. And I think most people are really happy. A lot of our clients get reductions.
So on
Now,
that Facebook page, you teach people how to do it themselves. How to, I mean, it's not, I mean, I know it's, if you really take the time, you could do it, but it's so much easier to hire a lawyer to do it. Well,
I like people to hire me. Okay.
exactly.
It's, and here, is Jeff Gold flatrategrievances.com.
Wow.
It's our new Facebook page. It basically, you come here, we'll talk a little bit about some of the issues. We also tell you to join us on Facebook. I'm very open about this. You can do this yourself. And we have a form. Look, there's me. And then we have different levels of service. Most people only require the general gold level, a service, which is essentially we file your grievance and then we help you respond to it.
So that's
Um,
$250.
Right. And then for people who want more attention, who want personal attention, after all, I am an attorney, so time is money, and I do talk on the phone with people, and we also will file a STAR petition, flat rate, $1,000. We only recommend that for homes that are over $1 million.
Mhm.
Okay. And if people want it and their home is not $1 million, we'll usually tell them they don't need that. Okay. There's a middle level where we'll also file your second review. But again, most people are capable of doing that on themselves. It's just a level question of whether they want to do it themselves. Here you got people who, these are actually real people who've said nice things about me. But we have tens of thousands of satisfied residents. Some were clients, some were members of my tax group, but people save money.
So somebody who pays you $250 to file this grievance, how much money could they possibly save?
Well, one woman saved, as I said, this year our highest is 22%, and we calculate that at about $4,000 at her level.
Oh my
So,
God.
but we've had a few years ago, we had somebody who um, was completely misassessed. He was in Wantaw. They had him way high. He would have saved $13,000. He would have saved $13,000.
Wow.
And it's really funny, but my friend, I have a friend who owns a house in Oyster Bay, and he had to give a grievance firm $54,000 because they saved him $108,000. And he didn't realize I could have done the same thing for the 250.
Wow.
All right. But he paid one of these grievance firms $54,000, which is nuts.
Yeah, that's totally
He's paying a
nuts.
lot of money. He's got a nice house. Um, so you got to do it every year. And I just can't stress that enough.
Mm, that's great. Good information. Thank you. So this Facebook group, say what the name of it again so that
Yeah, it's Nassau, grieve your tax assessment free.
okay.
Now,
It's
most people,
investment free.
right, most people say you grieve your taxes. You don't grieve your taxes, you grieve your assessment. Okay. You grieve the value of the house the county has on your home. Okay. And if you want to know what the county values your home at, you take your assessed value and multiply it by 1,450. So if you have 1,000 assessment, which is $1 million, which they would give to $1 million home, you multiply it by 1,450, and that means shows that the county actually is valuing your home at $1.45 million. And that's the value you're challenging. You want to show that your home is not worth $1.45 million.
Do most people grieve these assessments?
There are 350 to 370,000 properties in Nassau County that are residences, and about 220 to 230,000 grieve every year. And the county is sort of taking the attitude is they'd rather give you reductions and make charge the other people more. So they do.
Wow.
Because remember, it's a zero sum game. If you pay less and your neighbor doesn't grieve, they pay more because the tax rates go up. So yeah, most people do grieve. Most people who grieve get reductions, whether they do it themselves or through a firm. And gee, what firm tells you that?
Really, for $250, it's really a no-brainer.
You know what? I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, this
Totally.
year, well more than 80% of our clients are getting reductions. And you know, you just need to stay on top of it. You don't even need to file every year. What I do recommend, just every other year will keep you close. But if you file every year on your own, there's no risk. Um, I would recommend using a law firm every few years, every 3, 4, 5 years, just to make sure it's done right and you get back into the correct range. I think we do it better. I think all of the law firms do it better. I think we do it better because we use specific comparables in the neighborhood. We have sources to look for comparables. We know if you called ARC right now and you ask them what the level of assessment is going to be next year, they don't know, but we do know. So we gear it towards that because we've done the math, we've done the calculations. It's an interesting process, but we before the grievance period starts, we look at hundreds of homes that actually sell. We go to realtor.com, and then we look to see what those homes that sold are assessed at. And we see the range of how bad the assessments are. And based on that, we're able to get a rough idea of where the level of assessment is and what the multiplier should be. So we do. And I think we file good grievances. We're very busy this year. We only accept grievances up to 2 weeks before the deadline. This week, the deadline's March 1st. So we've set we will not be accepting until, we'll be accepting up until February 14th, February 15th. We want our clients to be able to review their grievance and determine if it's good or if we've missed something or something they want to add. So we like to give them that 2 weeks to do it. As of the past 8 years, they have increased the period of time during which you can file a grievance, usually by a month, sometimes by 6 weeks, sometimes by 8 weeks. So depending on it, we anticipate that they will extend the period again this year. And assuming they do, we will extend the period of time when we will accept clients. But we urge people who want to use our services to sign up now.
Yeah, so Nassau County residents call the Gold Law Firm and get those grievances, get those reduced.
You,
Uh,
you know,
yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Yeah, we've always said call. The number is 516-512-6333. But the office is busy, and the easiest thing to do is go to jeffgoldflatrategrievances.com. It just makes it so easy. The form is there. We get everything we need, and we're able to file
All
for
right,
you.
I'm gonna put that in the blog so that everybody, you can click on the link and you have a month to do this, so get them in. Jeff, again, just one more time, tell people how to get in touch with you and, you know,
Easiest
set
way
up.
to get in, thanks. The easiest way to get in touch with us is through Jeff Gold, flatrategrievances.com. jeffgoldflatrategrievances.com, or you can call the office at 516-512-6333, 516-512-6333, or on our Facebook page, Nassau Grieve Your Tax Assessment Free. We'll teach you how to do it without any obligation. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeff, for telling us about this. This is really informative and we appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Hilary.